Alright guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be making something interesting. I'm not exactly sure what yet, but I have an idea. That idea is what you just saw. That's kind of the end product, but I guess I already made the thumbnail, so you've already seen what it looks like in the end. But if you want to see how I made it, that's why I'm here. Alright, so the first thing I need to do is actually model the coffee cup. I don't think this will be too difficult. I'll just use a subdivision surface modifier. Shouldn't take too long. I'm just going to go ahead and do that. And then the next thing I need to do is I need to put the liquid in the cup, except this isn't going to be normal liquid. I'm going to use, I'm just going to use the remesh modifier to make it look better. So I went ahead and just modeled the coffee cup. And now I'm going to position the camera where I want it. So I'm going to move it kind of above it so you can see inside of it like that. About that position looks good. And next I'm going to add a plane. And then I'm going to go ahead and add a subdivision surface modifier. I'm going to add a displace modifier, new texture, and clouds. So I'm going to turn the size up and move the mid-level up and the strength down. Next I'm going to add a remesh modifier and I'm going to switch it to blocks. Alright, so that looks pretty good to me. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply the subdivision surface. And I'm going to go into here. And I'm going to delete every single vertex that's not inside this. Alright, so I have them all selected. And now I'm just going to go ahead and delete them. So now we only have this within the inside of the cup. I'm going to go to edge select. I'm going to select a loop of edges. And I'm just going to fill it. So now I have the cup and the drink modeled, and I need to do the shading and materials now. Alright, so now I have this face filled in. If I go into shading, I already have a ceramic shader for this, but now I'm going to need a different material. So I'm going to add another slot. I'm going to hit assign, new, base color of probably a brown. Roughness I'm going to turn up. Clear coat. That's probably good for now. And now for this material. So I want this to have a similar color to the other one, except as it gets higher up, it changes color. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to add a gradient texture. I'm going to plug this into the base color. If I rotate it 90 on the Y, it should be up and down now. And if I just add a color ramp, I should be able to limit this. Okay, so now it gets lighter as it goes up. I'm going to go back to my my other material. I'm going to go to the hex. I'm going to copy that. And I'm going to go back to here and switch this to that. So now I have that. I'm going to copy the hex again, except this time I'm going to turn down the saturation and turn up the value. Alright, so now we have this nice pixelated looking coffee, and yeah, I think that looks pretty good. If I hop into render mode, I already have an HDRI on. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So next I added steam to the top, and I used a particle system to emit cubes, and then those cubes are going to have a volume to them, and they're going to look like pixelated steam, I guess. I don't really know. I am going to add a plane at the bottom, and this is going to emit particles. I'm going to go to the particle settings, hit plus. Now we have an emitter, and for the velocity I want it to be up on the normal, and under field weights, I'm going to turn off gravity because this is going to be like steam. So as you can see, it looks like that. I'm going to turn down the amount by quite a bit. I'm actually going to add a cube. Select the plane again, go under render, and switch render as object. Now I can just select this cube like that, and now it's rendering these cubes instead. And I want this cube to have a nice material. So I'm going to hit new. I'm going to delete the principled BSDF. I'm going to add a principled volume. I'm going to turn up the density a little bit. The color is going to be a little bit lighter. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. And under render again, I'm going to turn up the scale randomness. And I'm going to scale this up. So now we have these nice little cubes popping up out of the drink. So what I did next is I added a counter for the coffee cup to rest on, and also a back wall made out of wood. So yeah, that just fills in the scene and makes it look a little bit better, rather than it just floating in space. Alright, so I made a concrete material for the cup to sit on, and I also made a quick procedural wood material. Alright, so now I have all the scene blocked out. I have everything ready to go. I think I'm going to go ahead and give it a test render before I work on materials and some finishing touches. Alright, here's the test render. I believe after this, I also did some extra lighting and then compositing, and then I was done with this. Alright, so I just finished that test render, and now I'm going to do some finishing touches. I'm going to add a area light. I'm going to give it a color of cyan. I'm going to turn it up until it's pretty visible. And now I'm going to repeat the same thing, and I'm going to change the color to magenta. I just think that adds some nice lighting to it. I know it's not super realistic, but I kind of like the way it looks. Alright, so the last thing I need to do really is add depth of field and do some compositing. So I'm going to change this to 0.1. I'm going to go into material preview. I'm going to move up the distance. I'm going to turn it up. Yeah, I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and give this the final render. I decided not to show the compositing because it was kind of boring. All I did was add a glare node and switch it to fog glow just for some extra glare. That's all I did. Anyways, here's the final render. I'm kind of proud of this one. It's really simple, but you know what? I think it looks pretty good. Anyways, thank you for watching. I congratulate you if you've made it this far in the video. The best way you can support me is by subscribing. I know you probably hear that a lot. Anyways, take care guys, and I will see you next time.